I'm Anthony Parasini. I am the co-head coach of the Hybrid Engine. I am a professional engineer. I have my CrossFit Level 3 certification, so I'm a certified CrossFit trainer. I'm a USA weightlifting sports performance coach. I am coach to 4 Elite 15 athletes. That would be my wife, Lauren Weeks, 3-time HYROX World Champion. I'm also coach to Lauren Griffith, James Kelly, and co-coach with my wife to Kate Davey. We've been doing hybrid fitness and endurance-based mixed modality sports for several years now, and we've been doing specifically HYROX for 5 years.
She's now in contention for a ticket to Worlds. Kate Davey, she made up 5 positions on that station.
So my first open race was London 22. One of my friends messaged me and asked if I would do a doubles with her, said that she thought it was right up my street. So we did a doubles competition. Then we were going to enter another doubles competition, but then she said, you need to do it on your own, and she made me do the open one, and it's just gone from there, really.
James Kelly, a name that jumps out. He's been at every single major so far this season, yet he still finds himself in the Last Chance Qualifiers.
I got into HYROX by following Hunter. I stumbled across him, obviously, becoming the World Champion in 2021. And lo and behold, after a footy season in 2022, I decided to go over to London and have a crack at my first race, and here I am now.
Pull out fine as James Kelly finishes in the Berthy Broad Jumps, a 25-second lead.
I actually found HYROX through some of my friends while doing OCR events, and it kind of started out as one of those like, hey, there's this crazy event, so hard and challenging. Someone even described it as like death by cardio. Oh, that sounds awful. I kind of want to do it. But once I got started, I just dove in head first and absolutely fell in love with it, and really dedicated a lot of what I wanted to do for training towards hybrid events.
My name is Lauren Weeks. So it was actually Yancey that had reached out and said that there's this new event coming out and it's coming to the US. It'll be in Miami. I think you're gonna really like it. I actually didn't say yes right away. I was very focused on CrossFit, but it wasn't something that, it wasn't an opportunity that I wanted to let go. So I decided I would go and do it. And it was way harder than anybody expected.
Coaching my wife is amazing. I get to do something that I love to do. We get to share everything together, and I get to do it with the person I love most in the world.
There's one person in the world that I don't want chasing me down, it's Lauren Weeks. That's it.
And there we are, Lauren Weeks. And here she goes. Lauren Weeks has taken the win on home soil. Lauren Weeks, the new world champion, the new returning world champion of fitness.
I think if you want to become an elite athlete, the number one thing that you need to do is surround yourself with high quality individuals. Your support network is the most important thing. I'm lucky enough to call Anthony Parasini my coach, and without him I wouldn't be sitting here with the second fastest HYROX time.
A 54.03. James Kelly, you are going to the World Championships.
I think the main thing you need to do is be consistent. Be consistent with everything. Be consistent with your nutrition, your rest, your recovery, your training.
It takes a lot of dedication that for some people it might not necessarily be worth all of that extra time and some of the sacrifices that you have to make, but if that's really what you want, it's always going to be worth the sacrifice to pursue your goals.
Just the challenge in chasing a goal itself should be fulfilling enough. So whether or not you ever get to that Elite 15, I think you can find success just in the progress of getting better. I want somebody to feel like they're a failure because they don't necessarily reach that goal. I think just going for the goal, there should be pride in that.
If someone did the exact same training as me and to get it done with purpose, absolutely, I think they would be as competitive.
I just don't know if most people find it worth it to do the amount of training and other sacrificial things that it takes.
It's not just the training that I do on a day-to-day basis. It's all the training I've done in my life up until this time.
I can guarantee that there's not many people out there that would be doing what we're doing outside of the training. Your recovery, your nutrition, and your sleep. They're the most important things.
But I feel like if a lot of people had that kind of goal and put in the time, it is totally feasible for anyone to excel in sports.
We've gotten a lot more scientific with my training. I think the progress is more in like learning what you need to do to develop as an athlete.
The reason why I've kept improving is because I've kept being open-minded as an athlete and also as a coach myself.
Nerves do play a big part nearer to the race.
I think a lot about how much energy and how much effort not only I have put in, but my partner Georgie has put in. I also think about what needs to be done 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 day, 1 minute before the race.
Just do everything that I can physically do so that when I get to the start line, I know that I have put in all the hard work I could have done, and then what will be on race day, but you won't have any regrets for your preparation. You know, nail the nutrition, make sure I'm resting, make sure I'm recovering. Up until the start line, on the start line, you know, surrounded by phenomenal athletes. But as soon as I start racing, I think that just goes. You're in the race, there's nothing more you can do but race. You're focused on your run, your ski, you know, whichever event you're on.
The only thing that I should be focusing on is the task at hand. And if that's running and I'm running, it's thinking about my running. It's burpees, I'm thinking about burpees. I'm being in the moment, so to speak.
From start to finish, I feel like I'm just absolutely redlining. It's a lot of pain, and so from that, I just try to use that, okay, I'm in pain, what can I do to get through this next portion so I can just be done faster? Just trying to pivot from this is painful to how can I use this pain to get me to the finish line.
I often do have a few thoughts which will push me through when you feel in a bit of a dark place. I think everyone does have a why. I have a few quite meaningful whys to me, and they get me through some pretty tough times.
We had our eyes set on 2 races at the beginning of the year, and that was Vienna and Nice. Vienna was the closest mimic race that you could get to Nice, for us at least, in terms of travel and the conditions and the competitive level of what it was going to be like. So we set our sights on those 2 races.
You never know coming into the season like where you're going to stack up against people, so to be able to come into that first race and secure a qualifying spot is a big relief.
Today might be the day for yet another world record.
I feel so alive.
She hasn't just come here to compete, has she? She's come here to dominate.
Lauren Weeks absolutely smashing it here at the major in Vienna. This, to all the viewers out there, is what a potential world record pace at the Sandbag Lunches looks like. All right, here she comes. We're getting ready. Does she have the shot at the new world record here in Vienna at the major? 58.52 is the time she needs to beat.
She smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
Did you see that? She had that smile on the face. I believe it was a 58.04.
New world record holder and European champion Lauren Weeks. What was behind that performance?
Honestly, I was really upset to leave my daughter at home for this one because it was so far away. I'm gonna be upset, but so I don't know, I just wanted to go and make it worth it and give it my all, and it worked.
I think the 3rd major in Vienna was my best one. I was just really nervous. My first major, first time on the grid. I didn't feel like I performed that well. Came away feeling a bit disheartened, but made me want to work harder. Then when I got the invite to Stockholm. I was happier in Vienna, and I felt like I performed better there, and I felt more comfortable, more in control.
I was privileged to say that I was a part of all 4 majors this year when I wasn't even ranked in the 15 last year. You know, I was very close to one World Championship spot in Stockholm, but not close enough. I've learnt a lot from those 4 races, and I was lucky enough that things weren't going my way. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be working with Anthony Perissini.
James Kelly talked to my wife, Lauren, right after Vienna, and she says, I want you to talk to this guy. She told me he is looking for a coach, way to improve. He's already qualified for the majors, but he wants to make that next step. He wants to qualify for the Elite 15. What really got me is Lauren came to me and said, I met him and I met his girlfriend, Georgie. And when I talked to her, she is just a good soul. I got on a phone call with James, and from there it was, all right, let's see what we can do. And we kind of made the decision before DC that we're building you to target the Last Chance Qualifier, because that's going to be your best opportunity to qualify.
The Last Chance Qualifier in Cologne was the most special moments that I've ever experienced.
There was a lot of girls there, all going for those 3 spots, so the pressure was high.
This is all or nothing. This is the European Last Chance Qualifier.
I'm going to give it my all. You can just do what you can do on the day. I'm going to go into my little pain cave in my dark hole, and I'm going to be really happy about it.
There's James Kelly in the top 5. There are more spots available than what you watched yesterday with the men's race. Well, that is because the consistency that we've seen from Lauren Weeks and Megan Jacoby has not allowed athletes to reach the top 5 as regularly as in the constantly changing men's field.
There was 1 men's spot available for the Elite 15, and James has been close in all the majors, but never quite got there.
Gosh, he wants this, James Kelly. So this really is all or nothing for Alpine as James Kelly finishes in the burpee broad jumps, a 25-second lead.
He was as focused as anybody I've ever seen. And he went into that Last Chance Qualifier prepared and ready and knew beforehand that this was his race.
I was so confident at that start line. I've never experienced before that I was going to do something pretty special that day.
He's leaving the rest of the field in his dust. And just think about the talent that is in there. He's not going to make a world record, but James Kelly with the 2nd fastest HYROX men's pro time ever, a 54:03. Oh my gosh, James Kelly, you are going to the World Championship.
He executed perfectly and came out with the 2nd fastest HYROX time that's ever been ran. The world better watch out in the Elite 15.
Shout out to my boy Anthony Perissini, who I'm working with now. We're just getting started, let's just say.
And what on earth did Kate Davey do? She made up 5 positions on that station. She's now in contention for a ticket to Worlds. Kate Davey.
I knew my race, how I liked it to plan out, and I just stuck to the plan, and it did pay off.
Kate Davey is first off the rower.
I think Kate is definitely somebody to look out for. She might be the top European racer out of these.
Davey's dropped into 2nd as she picks up her 20-kilo sandbag. It's a wall ball race, and it looks like Kate Davey has done it. Whoa, what? Kate Davey crosses the line, but it looks like there's a bit of confusion. The judge has pulled her back. Why has he pulled her back?
At the end with the wall ball incident, it could have all gone horribly wrong, but thank goodness it didn't.
She's had to do another wall ball. She left with 99 wall balls. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You can see the relief on her and Zara Piergiani's face.
So, yes, I will always maybe throw 1 extra wall ball just to be sure in the future.
Kate Davey, you're going to World Championships after the majors, your debut Elite 15 season. You've done it. How does it feel?
I'm a bit emotional. I just used everything in here, and I just had my little boy in my head, and he's been so brave recently,
and I just used that, and I just thought, do you know what, I can go through an hour of pain.
Lauren Griffith, we talked about her plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, the start to the major here in Washington, the North American Championship.
Lauren Griffith. She's a fierce competitor. It was only a matter of time before she was going to qualify for the Elite 15 in Nice. She got her first invite to Vienna. She was doing really well at the start of the race, but then passed out on the lunges and still was able to finish, and had set a goal to go unbroken on the wall balls, and she just did it. Even after passing out, she went there.
You passed out and insisted to finish the race. Why?
As I was sitting there, part of me really wanted to just be done, but the disappointment of not finishing a race would have been so much more than pushing through and getting it done and doing the best that I could given the circumstances.
We've got Lauren Griffith in the picture right now, and that for a very good reason. She is in that qualifier spot right now.
The goal tonight is a world championship spot, so still want to finish strong and just power through, make sure I lock in that spot for the world championship.
So in any major, there's a maximum of 3 spots up for grabs to qualify for the World Championships. If someone in the top 3 has already qualified, then it can roll down, but it can only roll down as far as 5th.
Going into DC, we kind of changed it up. Instead of going for it, we were going to run safe. The idea was to safely just get a spot.
They needed a couple of rest moments right now. Lauren Griffith looking better, and she is going to take the slot. Lauren Griffith, after passing out in Vienna and still finishing the race, she will come across the line. She does come across the line in 5th spot. And Greg, she is taking that World Championship slot.
She ended up taking that 5th place spot, ran a really smart, controlled race, and now she's going to Nice and she doesn't have to worry about the Last Chance Qualifiers.
We made it this far, we're going big. Really gonna go out there and just give it everything.
I want to figure out where that limit and that breaking point is without tipping over. Sometimes you don't get up to that tipping point and there was more to give, and sometimes you go over that tipping point and you're surviving the rest of the race. And I've done both of those.
I think you need to have a goal and you need to aim high. I would love to say that I was in the top half.
My goal for the World Champs is to win, and I don't say that lightly. But if you're not out there to win, then what are you doing? Anthony and Lauren, first and foremost, are a team, and I am so lucky and so privileged to be a part of that team. If it wasn't for the hybrid engine coaching, I would not be here right now.
Really, really lovely to work with them both. I'm improving and feeling things I've never felt before. I'm seeing things in the data that I've never seen before.
More important than, the programming side of things, Anthony and Lauren care. And from a coach myself, that's the most important thing. The season has told us that it's anyone's game.
You're there. Why not just go out and give everything you got and see what happens from there?
I think it's going to be an amazing race, and it's blown my mind that I'm in it.
It's going to be a fantastic World Championships in Nice.